Hey everybody, welcome to American Courts. Today we had another interesting Monday in Judge Fleischer's courtroom. Here's a link to his channel. Make sure to go check it out, subscribe. Today we got everything from driving while intoxicated to plea deals to a good discussion about a case that happened from last week. Make sure to check them out. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.
Duarte.
Is Stephen flying solo today?
Yes.
Roberto Duarte?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Duarte, you're charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you can afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers were dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in response to a family disturbance. The complainant told officers that her and the defendant, her spouse, began arguing after she followed another man on Instagram. The complainant stated she felt scared and tried to call her mom, but the defendant took her phone and refused to return it while stating that he was going to beat her ass. The defendant repeatedly told the complainant this, and the complainant believed the defendant would actually assault her. The complainant's mother was on the phone during the altercation and heard the defendant's threats. The defendant admitted to officers that he threatened the complainant.
Mr. Duarte, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. How old are you, sir?
20.
What do you do for a living?
Construction. My wife.
So this is Neve and Garcia. Is that your wife?
Yes, sir.
Are y'all actually married or just living together or common law?
Actually married.
Okay. Do we know whether she wants to have contact with him?
Yes, Your Honor. RIP was completed and she says that she would like to have contact with him.
Okay. Mr. Duarte, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any threatening or harassing contact with this person. Understand what is threatening or harassing doesn't matter what you think. It is what she perceives. So if you go like this, it is most certainly threatening and harassing. And I'm going to tell you now, I will do everything in my power to protect every person of Harris County. If I have to put you in jail, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You got out of jail because we gave you a free bond. You're not going to get another one. You pick up a new case, violate conditions, I will revoke your PR bond, set it at 5 to 10,000. If you don't have anyone to pony up that kind of money, you'll be sucked like Chuck. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
No. How much money do you make a month?
Like 2,400.
Okay. Who else do you live with besides your wife?
We just had a son, a newborn.
Does she work as well?
Or she used to work, and we should go half, but now.
Because the baby, she's not working?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
For what?
Court appointed lawyer? Do you want to apply for one?
Sure.
The other option is you can go hire one. So you tell me what do you want to do? You need a lawyer. You're facing a year in jail, a lot of time. So
Yes, sir.
you want to apply for one? All right. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to we're going to give you an application for an appointed lawyer. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria, and then I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions that you're not to have threatening, harassing contact. You also need to understand that there is a protective order that has been issued in this case. I'm going to give you a copy of this. One of the things is you cannot threaten or harass. Don't do it. If you are someone that constantly fights with this person, be very careful, because the next thing you threaten her, they can file additional charges against you, violation of a protective order, and then it really will go sideways. Do you understand? Can you file no threatening, harassing, no weapons, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll have you come up. We'll give you the application. I'll have you sign the receipt, and then I'll have you take your seat in the jury box, please.
Hodges, Slayton, page 19.
You said page 19?
Yes.
Clayton Hodges. Mr. Hodges, you're charged with failure to give information upon striking a highway fixture. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On October 5th, 2024, officers responded to a criminal mischief call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The officers made contact with the complainant. The complainant stated he woke up, realized his tree had been ran into, checked his surveillance, and observed the defendant's motor vehicle collide into a tree traveling at a high rate of speed. The defendant appeared to get out of the motor vehicle, walk in front of the motor vehicle, and then proceed to get back inside the motor vehicle. The officer observed tire mark damage in the landscape leading up to the tree, damage to bricks around the tree, and damage to the tree itself. Damage was approximately $200 for the brick and grass and $2,500 for the tree.
Tell me, what time of day or night was this? Is this in the middle of the night? Do we know that alcohol or any kind of drugs or anything played a factor in this?
All right, it took place at approximately 2 in the morning. And one moment I can see if there's any alcohol involved.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I don't see any, Your Honor.
let me ask you this. What kind of priors?
Your Honor, he has previous, well, actually, I believe he still has open cases in Galveston at 2024 with unknown dispositions, a DWI, collision causing damage to a motor vehicle, and a UCW out of Galveston.
Just 3 open cases in Galveston?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Haddad, did you see this? We're talking about Mr. Hodges here.
Mr. Hodges, Judge, for me, check.
He has an open DWI, UCW, and perhaps something else. Also, Alex, if you can run the license as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Judge, I do see that, yeah, this is held, so it's open. Yeah, just checking the TCIC, it looks like there are 3 pending cases open.
The third one besides DWI, UCW, what was the other one?
Collision involving damage to a vehicle, approximately $200.
I'm taking off.
It looks like it is their Galveston's version of an FSGI. It's just called.
Now we have another one.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Hodges, I take public safety extremely serious. And if I find that you become a danger to my public here in Harris County, I'm telling you now, I'm going to light you up. Do you understand? I am taking away your privilege to drive. And you will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me that you're not going to drive. If I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? I am also giving you a curfew so that you are not out in the middle of the night. The other thing is this, is that you have 3 open cases in Galveston. It's only a matter of time before they learn about them. And when they do, they're going to revoke all of those bonds and issue 3 warrants for your arrest. So, as it stands now, do not drive. And I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to test you like crazy. If I find that you're using, I'm going to revoke your bond, deem you a public danger, and I'm going to make your bond so high that your head will just combust. Do you understand? GPS monitor, curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Waive the fee, no drugs, no alcohol, random urinalysis, and no driving. What do you do for a living, Mr. Hodges?
I'm an electrician.
We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. Heed this warning. If you drove here, you may not drive home. And the worst possible thing you can do at this time is get into a car and drive, because if you do, you're going to stay with me for quite a while. Do you understand?
Sir.
I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. You will get to Victoria, sign a reset, then you'll get with pretrial, and then we'll see you later. When you come back, have a lawyer, Mr. Hodges. Don't be a danger to my public. Do you understand?
Sir.
Page 26. Alex, the last name is Buddy, come on up. Item of 26.
Thanks. Is it Karakra? That's right. You are charged with obstruction of a highway or a passageway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On October 13th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a stranded motor vehicle on the 1400 block of West St. Houston Parkway in Harris County, Texas. The officer was advised the motor vehicle was missing the left rear tire, and the officer made contact with the driver. The driver stated the private record was en route, and around the same time, another motor vehicle reported being struck by a single tire coming from the opposite direction of traffic. The defendant, a private wrecker, arrived and blocked the moving roadway. Officer made contact with the defendant. The officer made the defendant aware of the situation, and the defendant neglected to hear what the officer had to say, and the officer gave an order to the defendant to move from the moving lane of traffic as the stranded motor vehicle was part of the investigation, to which the defendant refused. The defendant kept trying to make contact with the driver of the motor vehicle being towed, despite the officer's actions and orders to leave the scene.
So he's trying to help.
Yes, he reported there to tow the vehicle, but he was blocking the moving lane of traffic, and officers told him to move, and he would not.
Does it say how long he was there?
Your Honor, let me see in the DIMS if it says. It does not give a time frame for how long he was there. All it says is that the motor vehicle he attempted to tow was part of an investigation, which is why officers told him to clear the scene so that way they could investigate the damage to the motor vehicle. It was part of a new investigation.
All right. Sir, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm not putting any conditions on your bond. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. That's all we're asking to do. When you get into into an argument or a fight with an officer, who's going to win?
Officer.
Right. Just be careful. You got to know these things,
I'm sorry.
Pick and choose your audience. No, you don't have to just be careful. Some battles you're just not going to win, right? I see that you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but just stay in touch with Mr. Muharib and he'll tell you when you have to come back to court. We'll just have you sign a reset and then you're welcome to wait for him and back, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir, please.
Right this way.
Your Honor, we're gonna call them that day. We did it that day.
Oh, good, that's-
Wow.
So they waited, all they did was wait for that order.
This is Wilson on page 37.
Okay. Good morning, Miss Wilson.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. On October 14th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a major crash call at 300 West Loop in Harris County, Texas, after the defendant's motor vehicle crashed into a tree. Upon arrival, the officers observed the defendant outside her motor vehicle and observed the defendant with a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, bloodshot eyes, and swaying while speaking. The defendant admitted to drinking and advised she was driving. The defendant also stated she knew she was intoxicated and that she shouldn't have been operating a motor vehicle. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 4 out of 4. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.132 and 0.137.
Okay. All right, Ms. Wilson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
I have one in Arkansas. Yes, but it's valid.
License, please.
Your Honor, we don't have a driver's license on file in our system.
Okay. Do you live in Houston now?
Yes.
How long have you lived in Houston?
3.5 months.
You planning on staying?
Yes.
Okay, it's time that you surrender that license. You have to get a Texas driver license.
Okay.
How old are you, man?
I'm 21.
What do you do for a living?
I do Uber Eats and I do hair. Like I'm a self-employed, so I do a lot of things on my own, like hair and stuff like that. It's social media influencer.
You have liability insurance in your name.
Insurance.
You have car insurance in your name.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, I have. Yes, I do.
How?
I have insurance with Amex
Who pays for it?
and my sister together.
Are you sure?
Yes, I was under my mom at first,
Okay,
but
well, I don't want you to drive unless you 100% know that you have car insurance. I want you to look it up.
yes, I do.
Okay, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using any kind of alcohol or illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You understand? No more alcohol, no more illegal drugs. That includes marijuana. Don't smoke. Otherwise, I will put you in jail. You understand?
Yes.
Did you want to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, man? Okay. Steven's going to give you an application. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria. Eventually, you'll pre-chop for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Okay? Please.
Judge, that's the last arraignment for now.
Mr. Garza, do you have a lawyer today?
So,
What are you doing about that?
sorry,
What are you doing about that?
I'm trying to just see what I could do to proceed. I mean,
You need a
lot of time
lawyer.
waiting.
You're facing a lot of time in jail.
I get one appointed.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a lift technician, automotive lift technician.
Okay, how much money do you make a month?
Thousands.
You don't qualify for a lawyer. You make too much money. You have to be at the poverty guideline to qualify for a lawyer. Who do you live with?
Solo.
Are you married?
Why is there a lifetime? I mean, there's just a small amount of marijuana. I mean, I don't understand why it's a lifetime in jail.
Mr. Garza, it's against the law. You don't live in California. You don't live in Arizona. You don't live in Las Vegas, where it may be legal. This is Texas. And in Texas, unless, limited exceptions, by and large, it's against the law. You just can't. If you don't like it, there are other states. But here, in today's and age, with the legislature that we have, marijuana is illegal. If you don't like it, go get a hold of your congressman. Go get a hold of your state senator and change the law. That's the way to go about doing it. But sitting here and complaining with us, this is not the right forum. You're facing a lot of time and you need a lawyer to represent you. Have you done any research as to looking into any lawyers?
I have been talking to a lawyer, but I just didn't know how far it would be. So Is it possible to have like a extra few days?
Facing 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. So it's quite a bit of time.
Yes, sir. I have a little bit more time so I can get away.
How many lawyers have you spoken to?
Well, I've only spoken to a few, but nobody's taking anybody right now, so they're all busy. So I keep
Haven't
calling.
spoken to enough. There's a gajillion and one lawyers in Harris County. It's like going to buy a car. You go to the right dealership to what you can afford. You don't go to a Bugatti, you don't go to a Porsche, you don't go to a Ferrari dealership when you're starting out. Go to, Honda, Toyota, whatever it may be. And like when you're buying a car, you haggle with them, like with the same thing with a lawyer. You haggle with the lawyer. 99% of them will put you on a payment plan where you pay a couple $100 a month and they'll represent you. But that's how it goes. Unless you meet the poverty guidelines, that is when we appoint lawyers.
Okay.
How old are you?
32.
Okay. Who are you married? Do you have kids?
I do, but they're with their baby mother.
Do you pay child support? How much?
They're on the side. We don't go through the court system. I just pay her out.
Okay, well, all right. So what we'll do is we'll give you more time. I'll have you sign a receipt. We'll give you 30 days. If you need to call 30, call 30. That's what it takes.
All right, sir.
Morning. No, sir. Sir?
Tell me what you're doing about that.
Well, right now I was forced to get my own apartment, so I'm a little behind with my bills and catching up with my money. So I will have to have some more time to find a lawyer and to be able to afford one.
Tell me why you were forced to get your own apartment. What do you mean by that?
Because I was
Living before?
with my brother in the house, so I was pushed out the house. And then, yeah. 2,
Married?
no, sir.
Support for the children?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'll have you fill out an application. I'll take a look, okay? I need to know everything about you. Don't put just zeros on everything because I'm going to send it right back to you. I need to know what money you have coming in, what you pay out, and then we'll take a look, okay? Yes, ma'am, please. Good job, Melissa. Mr. List, do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that.
I just need a little bit more time to come up with the money.
Okay, we'll give you more time.
Appreciate it.
Mr. List, are you driving at this time?
No.
Okay, there's an affidavit, don't drive. I know it's tempting, don't do it. You're gonna be doing a lot of time in jail. You understand?
Sure.
Okay, please. Mr. Matthews, do you have a lawyer today? What are you doing about that?
Can't do nothing right now.
Have you spoken to anyone? How many did you call?
Oh, 5.
Okay,
They were right around like $2,000 or something like that.
you may need to contact more. 5's just not enough. I have people that, call 10, 20, maybe 25, There's someone out there for you. Just you need to put a little bit more legwork into it,
Yeah, I can. I can't work right now. So
Why are you not working?
Well, that's how we made some law conditions to, you took my driver's license. I drive for a living.
You're going 120 something miles or I don't remember, 2,500 cases. I can't remember every single case, but there's a reason why we do what we do, right? But so how else are you sustaining yourself now? I'm not gonna talk to you about the case. How else are you supporting yourself?
I'm living on my savings right now. It's almost gone.
Okay, how much do you have there? Well, let's do this. I'll have you fill out an application. I don't want you to say it out loud now, but I need to know everything about you. If you're gonna. Did what?
I filled one out last time we were here.
I don't have it. Fill one out for me and I'll take a look and I'll see whether you qualify, but I need to know everything about you, how much money you have at the bank, what you pay out, what you got coming in, how many cars you have, and then we'll take a look to see if you qualify.
Judge, we have an arraignment that I skipped over
Okay,
on page 23. Mendoza, come on up.
let me just do this arraignment and then I'll. This is Luis Mendoza? Okay. Luis Mendoza. Mr. Mendoza, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On October 13th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a major crash at 7800 North Freeway in Harris County, Texas. The witness stated it seemed the defendant and the second witness were involved in a road rage incident. The first witness felt witness two's motor vehicle hit him and observed the defendant exit the driver's side of his motor vehicle and walk towards the first witness's motor vehicle in an aggressive manner. The first witness observed slurred speech, stumbling, a slouched posture, and the officer made contact with the defendant. The officer observed bloodshot, glossy eyes, a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and standard field sobriety tests were administered. HGN was 6 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, and one leg stand 1 out of 4. The defendant admitted to drinking that night, and the defendant was read the DIC and consented to breath. The results were .045 and .046. The defendant stated he did not eat anything and consumed 2 24-ounce Smirnoff Ice and admitted to driving.
So you're saying he wasn't the one at fault, though. It was the other person that was at fault.
Your Honor, the way the DIMS reads is that there was 3 vehicles involved and it doesn't, let me read the DIMS just to be sure, Your Honor. Your Honor, the DIMS does say that the second witness stated that the defendant came around on his left side and hit him. So it seems he hit the second witness, causing chain reaction.
Probable cause to go forward with the case.
Quiet.
You have a valid Texas driver license. Do you have liability insurance in your name? Then you're not allowed to drive. No driving until you have insurance in your name. Do you understand? I'm also urging you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? How old are you, sir? What do you do for a living? Good, great. Did you graduate from high school? We're going to work on that now. I'll appoint your lawyer today, and I want you to start working on getting your GED. You can't go through life without, at a minimum, getting a GED. You're going to make pennies on the dollar to everybody else. I'm serious. And so what I'm going to do, I'll give you a lawyer today, and I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks, and I'm making it a condition of your bond that you start working on your GED. You have to get your GED. Do you understand? I'm going to set you off 2 weeks, and I'm going to bring you back. If you've done nothing to show me what you're doing about getting your GED, it's not going to go well between us. Do you understand? So I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us if you're not going to drive. I'm gonna get you to Victoria, sign a reset, and then eventually you get with pre-trial for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box, all right? Do not leave until we have you talk to a lawyer, okay? Can I talk to? Oh, it's, all right.
This way, sir.
Page 33, Judge. Okay, go ahead and have a seat in the jury box.
Where did you think that you were coming today? To the beach? Why are you in shorts? It's a complete sign of disrespect. I'm gonna let it pass today, but if you come here again in shorts, I'm gonna put you out and we'll sit you off for the next day and we'll make you come back the next day.
Sir, I apologize.
Do you understand?
Sir, I
Okay,
apologize.
this is not your first case. You know better.
I apologize, sir.
Mr. Surges, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 13, 2024, officers were dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas. The caller observed the defendant arrive at the location and pace back and forth around the car before proceeding to enter the vehicle and turn the lights on as if he were attempting to get the motor vehicle turned on. Upon arrival, the officers observed the defendant sitting inside the motor vehicle that was parked on the driveway in front of the residence, and the defendant claimed the vehicle belonged to his girlfriend, but when asked to provide his girlfriend's name, could not provide any information. The complainant, the owner of the motor vehicle, advised she did not give the defendant permission to enter his vehicle and wishes to pursue charges.
So it's criminal trespass of a car.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Surges, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with this person or the complaining witness. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Why are you looking at me with bewilderment?
Because I didn't even talk to the people. I was, sir.
If the only thing I'm going to tell you, if that there's a car and it's not yours, don't go into the car. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the case. I'm just telling you what your bond conditions are. Don't go into anyone's car unless it's yours. Do you understand? Okay. What do you do for a living, Mr. Surges?
I work at Pay Centers. Temporary agency.
When is the last time you've had a full-time job?
In my life.
What were you doing?
Back in the box.
Why did you stop working?
They didn't have enough hours for me. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you just quit?
No, they didn't have enough hours.
They let you go?
Something like that. They didn't have enough hours for me to work.
Where are you living now?
I'm in a sensitive situation. I understand that, sir.
You need to get a full-time job. I'm
Yes,
making that a condition of your bond.
Yes, sir. I understand that.
And I will appoint your lawyer today, Mr. Surges.
Yes, sir.
One of the conditions is no weapons, and you must get a full-time job.
Okay, yes, sir.
You understand? Okay.
Yes, sir.
You go to Amazon, go to Starbucks, they're always hiring. And they make, you start out at 15 to 17 bucks an hour.
That's fine.
Do it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
bringing you back in 2 weeks and I want to see what you've done to get a job. If you come back and show me that you've done nothing, life's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. We'll have you fill out an application for an appointed lawyer. I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, I'll issue a warrant.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day.
That was it, Judge.
Okay, you ready?
Reset.
Malik Swearingen. Judge, I believe, is incompetent. He's picked up on these old warrants from 2002 and 2001. the situation where they were mental health crises that they came out. He was in custody of his father and grandmother at the time, and they were working to try to put him in CPS custody. Now that he's adult, his mother and a family friend that he works for is here. We said Allison Matthews was on this case before. She texted me over the weekend, once he got picked up, asking me if I could take over. I don't believe he's competent. Mother is concerned because he's in general population. He's been with her, and he works for that gentleman back there. If we could get him out on a PR bond and not have him in custody to do the competency exam. And we do release instructions where he's picked up by her tomorrow at another time.
If I bring him out, can we talk to him or no?
You can talk to him, but he's gonna be talking about things that are not relevant.
Okay. How old is he, Lauren?
He's 20. He'll be 21 December 1st.
What's he been doing with his life?
What he's been doing since he just started living with me.
Is it recent? Has it always been like this? Was there a catastrophic event that?
From his father and his grandmother, yes, sir.
What happened?
I'm not his father.
Has he already always had mental health issues is what?
Not sure his father gave him some drugs, like some.
Father gave him drugs?
Yes, it was embalming fluid, yes, and it messed him up, like.
Did he give him?
Embalming fluid.
Is that
PCP.
right? Will you dip a cigarette and then smoke?
Mhm.
Yeah, he used to play sports, he used to play football, and just.
That's so sad. Where's dad now?
In prison.
Good.
Yeah.
At least now we know that son's protected, although problem is he did the damage while he was out.
Yeah.
How long is he gonna be in?
He's supposed to be getting out sometime, I guess, I don't even know, sometime this year I know of.
Because, I mean, if I let him out, I had serious concerns about him having contact with dad. I don't want him to have
No,
contact.
he don't want to have contact with his father. I mean, I don't talk about it on his father, but he knows what his father did, like, you know. He stays with me now,
Where was he before?
with his dad and his grandmother. They always wanted to put him in a psych ward.
Should we have him evaluated by Dr. Beard to see what the proper, Lori, should we have him evaluated by doctor to see what the proper care is?
I am getting him evaluated for competency. That's what the plan is to do. The mother has a concern of him waiting in jail to do that. And they don't have the money to afford the $15,000 bonds. And so they asked me to see if they could get them reduced.
Problem is that you have to understand, you let him out, he doesn't show up to court. He just doesn't.
Yes, sir. Now that I'm informed of it, he will be in court. He will go and take his mental evaluations, his whatever is he has to do. I'll make sure he gets it done.
Good morning, Mr. Swearingen.
Good morning.
How's jail?
It's jumpy.
Yeah, it's not a fun place, right? Your mom wants me to let you out, but when I let you out, you never come back. The problem I have is that I would love to let you out, but I know if I let you out, I'm not going to see you again until we arrest you. And that's a problem.
Sir, have a seat. Have a seat, please.
What do you want to do with your life, Mr. Swearingen? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do in life? Do you want to do anything? Talk to me. It's okay. I want to help you. I don't want to keep you in jail. I want to let you out. but I have to know that I can trust you and that you're not gonna be a danger to anyone. Can you help us with that? If he's housed in general pop now, is it possible to move him to a different location?
They make the assessment, I believe, in the jail. I can make a request to our social services.
I can do a court order and we can do whatever we
Yeah, but
want. If,
You can do the court order, you could probably ask for it to be placed in the MSU housing. The only thing is, before they do that, he'll have to be reevaluated by the doctors there in the jail. Then, at that point, if they find that it's viable, then they will put him there. Matter of fact, let me see here.
I mean, Lori, we can kill two birds with one stone here.
Yeah, he's on the fifth floor. He's not on that floor. He would have to be on the second floor.
Is that the MHMRA floor?
Yeah, that's half of that floor is for that.
I don't know. What do you think? Problem is that this has happened already 4 or 5 times now, where we've let him out and he doesn't show up. You know, what?
Well, the last time he was let out, I couldn't find him for 47 days because I was calling the jail and the jail told me that he was incarcerated and he had a court date, but the whole time he wasn't even here. He was sitting on the bench for like 3 days waiting on me to pick him up. He didn't have no phone number. He couldn't find his way home. So
I'm happy that you're here though. It helps a lot because, I mean, if you weren't here, you being here shows me that you care and I want to help you and I want to work with you, right?
I mean, whatever stipulation, whatever I have to do to make sure he's home and like I'll get everything in my medication, whatever. I just worry about him being in here.
If I let him out, is he going to listen to you? That's one of my main concerns. Yeah, I can let him out, but is he going to listen to you? If I let you out, are you going to listen to mom?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What happens if you don't listen to mom?
No court.
Back to jail. I'm not going to play this game with you again, Mrs. Swearingen, if I let you out. The only reason is for you to stay with mom. You live with mom and you say yes to her rules. It doesn't matter if it makes you mad. You listen to mom, because if you don't, I will put you back in jail and I'm not going to do this again. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking for much. All I want you to do is just behave. Be nice. It's not hard. If you get upset, find another release. Don't beat someone up. Don't threaten. Go outside and run. Go play basketball. Beat up a tree, but not a person. And be nice to them. Lori, I'd like to have him tested and I want to give him a curfew because I don't want him out in the middle of the night.
Okay.
What do you think about a monitor? Yay or nay? Would need more.
Mom says fine. An electronic monitor.
So that we know where he is.
Yes, sir.
He will get it prior to release so that we know it gets on. He's gonna have a curfew of 9 or 10, whatever you think is appropriate. He must attend all doctor's appointments and take any prescribed medication from a doctor, and he's got to stay with you and no weapons. And the only reason is because you're here. And I'll tell you now, I'm not going to do this again. I will not do this again. If you leave, if you start using alcohol or drugs, you do something you're not supposed to, I will put you back in jail, and I'm not going to do this again. Do you understand, Mr. Swearingen? Okay. Look, life is not hard. Okay, just a couple basic rules. And if you can follow them, everyone's happy, including us.
Yes, sir.
If you ever have any issues, Lori can always help you out and she can get a hold of me and anything can happen. We can make anything happen. All right.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
You seem like you're doing great. You're doing great. Just keep it up. Are you taking any medication now?
I take medicine for pain.
Good. Keep taking it. It's working. Don't stop. That's something else that I want you to do. I want you to keep taking the medication, okay? Okay, Mom. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right. You got it.
We're, I'm on, Haley Jones, sorry, I was kind of blank there. So they contacted, the compassionate use program last week. They told her 2 to 3 business days, and then they sent her an email saying that they wouldn't give her the information without my client sending a request authorization form. So she just told me that, she forwarded it to me. I'm gonna do that today and get that handled. And I don't know how.
Friday afternoon, Judge, from them. So after.
Got it. But I'm telling you now, I'm gonna have a problem with it. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Not when you're on, I mean, there has to be other ways to medicate other than with marijuana.
I honestly can't tell you that. I honestly don't.
Well, then I want him to see a legitimate, psychiatrist, doctor, if he needs to if he has PTSD, to deal with it, not go to a doctor at a cannabis clinic where they're going to, of course, prescribe you marijuana.
They're MDs licensed by the state of Texas. I mean, that's just like.
I don't know that. I don't know that. And then, well, I mean, I got to imagine that if he goes to a regular psychiatrist, just a regular psychiatrist off the street, are they going to prescribe marijuana or are they going to prescribe something else?
They really can't. They have to be licensed with the compassionate use program through Texas. So no, you're right. Your therapist cannot prescribe it because they're not licensed to do it.
Right.
And this cannabis doctor is licensed to do it.
I don't feel that it's right when someone has a DWI with marijuana to let them continue to smoke marijuana.
I understand.
So,
I mean, I understand your position, Judge. And what do you want me to do at this point? Like right now, what is your wish?
If he truly has PTSD,
yes,
then I think that he really needs to see a doctor, a licensed psychiatrist, not just the people at the cannabis clinics.
Okay, so you want to have another doctor that he's treating?
Well, no, I don't. I just, there has to be another way to.
Position that's going to put me in a bind for telling somebody they can't go to their doctor. Like,
no. And look,
I'm not trying
you guys do, you guys need to do whatever you're going to do, right? But
none of us want to deal with. I don't want to deal with it.
and I'm going to tell you, it's a new thing for all the judges here now with all the marijuana cards now, trying to deal with how someone medicates, especially when someone has an opiate problem and they're continuing to use, and they want me to continue to smoke marijuana.
I will say,
I don't.
Judge Guinea has approved it for a client of mine, and Judge Ward.
I don't care about other judges. I don't care.
But what's going to happen is if you tell somebody to use the medicine that they're prescribed by their doctor, it's going to be a huge blow up, and none of us want to deal with. Like, I don't want this on the news. I don't want to be the lawyer standing from the camera.
I don't care.
This is medical. This is not legal. It's not a legal issue. It's a medical issue. But when you make it a legal issue, then that's where it gets to be a little sticky between this, because if the state of Texas says it's okay, I don't see where don't take this the wrong way. I don't see if you have the legal authority to tell Texas they can't do that. And that's what we're getting into, because you're saying that doctor.
If someone has a DWI, a marijuana DWI, right? And they want to continue to smoke marijuana, I have a problem with that.
What if they have a Xanax DWI and they want to continue using their Xanax that their psychiatrist prescribed? What's the difference?
And I don't know. I have not come across that issue, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But I have a problem with it, Dustin.
That's not.
So
doesn't have a problem with it. You're telling somebody, a licensed physician prescribing something, they can't use it because you have a problem with it. That's the issue that we're seeing. So, I mean, I respect the court's, whatever the court, orders, we'll respect that, but I just need to know what steps you want me to take. Like,
I don't know. Let me think about it, because I'm gonna talk with the other judges as well to see what, because I'd like to get a second opinion as to what other judges think about it as well.
Okay, I don't know fights, that. Like, I'll zealously advocate, but I'm not trying to start something that doesn't need to be started.
Dustin, I'm never going to begrudge a lawyer for zealously advocating, and I respect you for doing it. Really, I'm never going to fault you, but I really have a problem with someone who has a DWI and they're continuing to use the same substance that they got the DWI with. In every respect, when I see that come here, I try to get them to stop taking whatever they're taking.
Yeah. And I will advise him he should try to take those steps. I mean, I got a problem right
I
now.
have to imagine, had he gone to a normal, any other psychiatrist other than one at the Cannabis Cup, they 9 times out of 10 would have prescribed alprazolam, something else to deal with the PTSD. And I mean, what is it here? He shoots himself in the finger. Isn't that the PTSD?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's being different there.
I get it. But regardless, I think that, have you seen anyone else?
So I guess can we reset for a week? That way I'll get the documentation. I'll
How
get
long
some
is it gonna-
information.
Judge, I'm not sure. They emailed me
I
on
don't want it
Friday.
that long, Dustin, because I don't want him to continue to smoke weed for
Well, he
that.
is on your curfew and he's on the monitor. So I mean, we're at least keeping him from being outside during the hours that you're concerned about.
How long do you think?
Judge, I really don't know how long it would take them to process it. Say hypothetically, if they told me 2 to 3 business days and then we sent the request today, I don't imagine that they would take longer than 2 to 3 business days, but he's going through it with a HIPAA. So
They're gonna have to, what this is saying is he has to email them with his information, then they're gonna send him a form that he's gotta fill out allowing that information to be given. So
say it
as soon as they,
2 to 3 business days for them to respond to him and then with the
Okay, so
form.
let's do this. I'll set it off for a week.
Yeah.
I'm sending him for a drug test now. Come up, Mr. Jones.
I think that's great, Judge.
I mean, he had no problem doing weekly testing.
Dustin, if he's using any kind of opiates, I'm gonna, if you're using any opiates, anything that you're not supposed to, it's not going to go well between us. Do you understand?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
How come you have not seen any other licensed psychiatrist other than the cannabis people?
Okay, I actually have. I was prescribed the alprazolam for 6 years, but it actually caused me to have like seizures if I like missed it like a couple hours late and stuff like
You're
that.
not supposed to stop taking it.
I'm not saying like not I'm saying like if I slept in, like I could actually wake up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and have seizures because it's delirium tremors is what they call it.
Side effects of when you take hardcore, powerful narcotics like these, you can't just stop taking it. You can't just, when you stop, they wean you off. And when you don't take it as regularly prescribed, there are serious side effects. One of those being, convulsions, all types of side effects, including seizing, right? So it's not because you're taking the Xanax, it's because you didn't take it when you're supposed to. So don't blame the Xanax for causing you to seize. It's the fact that you didn't take it that caused you to seize. Why not? Why stop? So you're not taking the alprazolam anymore?
No, I still take the Valium, but only for emergencies for seizures. It's not even for the PTSD anymore because I
emergency seizures.
No, emergency seizures.
He has epilepsy, Judge.
Yeah, I have epilepsy, sir. That's another reason why they were giving me the Xanax too. But like, but they were saying that it was actually making it worse. They called them delirium tremors, similar to like withdrawal from alcohol. The benzos do the same. Yes, sir.
Sure,
but so that yes, sir. They're saying that it was helping, but if I
the other thing is I can't imagine that if you have one doctor prescribing all this other stuff, that doctor is going to continue to let you take all this, knowing full well that you're also using marijuana from another doctor, because they're contradictory and you can't do that.
So I wasn't taking them at the same time.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I had stopped the Xanax actually when I was when I went to jail for that state jail time, and whenever I got out, I was on like different medications in here and stuff like that. I just didn't want to go back on the same narcotic while I'm trying to stay sober, sir. So I mean, I know marijuana is not much better, but I just felt like it was better off taking something that wasn't physically addicting versus with the doctor's opinions and stuff.
Though it can be as well. I mean, look, I'm sending you for a drug test now.
Yes, sir.
We need a complete list of everything that you're legally prescribed to take, because I want to know what you're allowed to take, and that's it.
Yes, sir.
Because I also need to know what's going to show up in the blood test and what's not supposed to show up in there.
Yes, sir.
But don't use anything that you're not prescribed to take.
Yes, sir.
And for sure, you best not get into a car.
Yes, sir.
I will absolutely lose it if you get into a car. Do you understand, Mr. Jones?
Absolutely.
I
Yes,
don't
sir.
know how much more plain and clear that I can make this to you. Don't get into a car.
Thank you, Judge.
Hold on. I need to make sure that if he signed an affidavit that he's not going to drive. He does.
You
Okay.
understand that?
I believe so.
We'll set you off for a week, and then before he leaves today, I'd like a complete list of what he's got prescriptions for to take as far as any kind of narcotics, and
Yes.
so we can see it. All right.
Could you provide that?
I
list
want to
of-
know.
If not, you do that too.
No,
Give
I'm
it to
sending
me.
you for a drug test now.
Yes, sir.
Depending on what that shows, I want to look. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, guys.
Right this way.
Herman. Okay. When are we set for Mr. Blanco?
Next Tuesday, sir. You want to go over, like, there is a pre-trial matter we have to go over.
What is it?
They don't want to, he has cancer in his eyes and kidneys, and they don't want to bring in his, they have a motion in limine as to bring up his medical condition. They don't think it's relevant, even though they have to prove loss of physical and mental faculties, and it's on the video.
Well, let's, I mean, if we're actually gonna go to trial, we
Yes.
can, on the morning of trial, we'll go through that, you
Well,
know?
I would like, if maybe we can even discuss it, but maybe Mr. Blanco doesn't have to be here the Monday before, maybe.
Sure, of course.
Okay, I can
We
stop
can do
by
that.
the Monday before. Because they have to,
Did you get the result back?
no,
Guys, do you have the result?
I anticipate it to be positive.
Mr. Blanco, on top of page 3, do you have the results of the drug test, please? Thanks.
If I remember correctly, I think their motion when he said it's to curry favor or to sympathy or something to that effect.
And a nullification type,
I'm sorry.
nullification.
Well,
I
it's
guess.
highly relevant to when you're trying to prove loss of physical faculties. That's one of their allegations. And it also goes to
I mean, I
the,
guess it could. I don't know. Well, anything else? Come up, Mr. Blanco.
I think he heard your position on marijuana just there as well.
Why are you using, Mr. Blanco? Why are you using marijuana?
I mean, it's because I have cancer.
No dope means no dope. Otherwise, I'm going to put you in jail. You are not allowed to use while you're on bond. Do you understand? I understand that you may have cancer, but not while you're on bond for DWI. Do you understand? If I find that you're using again, I'm going to put you in jail. Do not use. You're set for trial on Tuesday. Be here because we're going to go. Do you understand? But if I find that you're using again, it's over. All right, Herman.
Thank you, Honor.
See you in a week.
We need to reset that since it's already set for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. See you
It'll
Tuesday.
be next week
Yes,
or
sir.
this Tuesday?
Yes, next Tuesday. Not tomorrow, no problem. Yes,
Okay, so it's not.
not tomorrow.
All right. Ready? Amen.
Mr. Frederick.
Mr. Frederick, come up. You know, life is really short. It really, really is. And when you are on a self-destructive path, you tend to bring other people down with you. You may not intend to do it. You may not want to, but the reality is that when you are on a path of self-destruction, in whatever it may be, that destruction radiates everywhere else. And what we do here is try to prevent that from happening. And I see you, and it makes me sad because you're imploding in front of us.
Sir, I feel like I've been trying to do everything you wanted. November 5th, I have an appointment to get my license. I signed up with Harris Health. I'm doing all the classes you wanted.
When you come here, you act like you have a halo on your head, but when you get out there in the free world, it's a completely different matter, Mr. Frederick, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you tested positive for alcohol. Because of that, I'm taking you in. Goes with you.
I mean, it doesn't, all the stuff that I was supposed to do doesn't matter. It's just I drank alcohol, so everything's gone.
It's all the other stuff that's going on is what's really important to me.
But that's what I've done. All the work you wanted me to do.
Oh. Could be on the other side, corner side.
Abel. Sorry, Mr. Schofield. Give me Who do you live with? Why can't you afford a lawyer?
For a job. That's about it.
You tell me you make $2,000 a month.
Just landscaping, that's all. And most of that go to my daughter.
You pay child support. So what are you talking about? Most of it goes to your daughter.
Order in the court.
Paying for her clothes, she growing, paying for food throughout the day and the week. That's about it.
Who has custody of your daughter? Okay, are y'all not together?
No, sir.
And how many kids you got?
Just one.
You didn't put any of that on here. You put here that you have $2,000 for one salary, and then you have an additional income of $2,000. That's $4,000 a month. Sorry? You didn't put that you have a child. You put down that you have total expenses of $140 a month. So you make $4,000 a month, and you have expenses of $140 a month. So
$500 a week.
It says here, other income, $2,000. What's that?
That's the total, what you mean?
Okay. How much money do you give to your child?
Truth be told, I spend almost $200, $300, $400 a week on this appliances.
The child needs it. So kids need money. But, just if you don't stop working, they still need food, they still need clothes. So you have to continue to work. And then when you play big boy games, like having a child, there's big boy expenses that come with having a child. The problem is, Mr. Roberts Clay, you can't be doing landscaping for the rest of your life. So
it was just for now until the time being out actually coming to action. I had a recruiter for the Army come to take me and I hit him up and stuff like that.
That's great.
I was just wondering if you would let me do that first. But I was trying to actually go get my driver's license so I can drive 18 wheelers. My auntie got a business, a truck driving business.
Do you have a driver's license now? You can't drive unless you have a license. You have to go get
Can I get my driver's license?
Of course you can. I told you that you can't drive because you don't have a license. You need to go get a license.
That's fine.
Shh. So you need to go to DPS. There's one on South Gessner. So go there, tell them that I want to apply for my license. You'll have to first take a written test, then you take the driving test. And once you do both of those things, if you do get your license, then I will let you drive. But not until you have a license, and you have to have car insurance as well. No driving until you have car insurance. All right, I'll appoint your lawyer today, Mr. Roberts Clay. But you know what? The Army, that's a really great idea because the Army is a really great idea because that might give you, I'm telling you, because if you go to the Army, number one, it'll give you structure. Number two, with the GI Bill, they'll pay for you to go to school. It's amazing. You need to do that, man. I'm telling you, that'd be the best thing for you. All right, go ahead, just take a seat and we'll be back with you shortly. Yo.
Judge, I have.
Come on up, Mr. Brown. What? Oh,
Yes, deferred.
great. This is what you do. You don't end up with that convictions. It's gonna kill you, Mr. Brown. You know, your life is hard enough as it is, being an African-American growing up in today's society. All you're doing is you're making life more difficult, man. That's all you're doing. It's hard enough as it is, right? Just wait. The older you get, the bigger, fatter, uglier, you lose hair, life doesn't get easier. And when you have more convictions, you're charged with theft, you're facing charge of theft and evading arrest. So the evading is getting dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What have you guys worked out as far as it terms of on the theft?
Anti-theft class and 30 hours of community service.
Is it 1 year deferred?
6 months.
6 months, okay. What you're doing is you're entering into a program that's called a deferred adjudication. This is a type of probation that if you complete it successfully, you do not end up with a conviction on your record, which is really important because these are the worst types of cases that you can get. If you violate this probation, though, you have to understand that I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. You're facing an additional 180 days in jail, and we can sentence you to that flat. Do you understand? I will make you a deal. If you get this done quickly, we'll take you off quick. Just make us proud. We're not asking for much.
I got you.
You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, there's no turning back. Where is this from? Is it Walmart or is it Target?
Of Saks? Fossil, that's right, Fossil.
Fossil.
The mall.
Okay, don't go back to Fossil. Give me questions. How do you plead to the offense? Are guilty or not guilty? I'm not going to find you guilty. We'll withhold that for 6 months. Just get it done. You get it done early, I'll take you off.
Yes, sir.
Give me any questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Waive his fees.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Real quick, I have Mr. Odom that's in custody today. He's supposed to be pleading on his felony tomorrow, so I'll need to set him Wednesday. I'm not going to be here. I'll probably get MAC coverage. Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you do pleas on
Yes.
Zoom? Okay, so this worked out if you please tomorrow.
So just have everything explained. That way, you know, even so much have the plea paperwork filled out and signed now. That way we can get everything done so that you've already explained everything. You just show up, we do the plea and you're out.
Okay, well, they won't file it until he actually pleads on the felony, but we
But
can
at
still
least
make
you
sure it's done.
explained to him the paperwork,
Yeah.
so he knows what to expect. That way,
It'll be all,
uh,
there'll be no confusion.
I guess, how do we have him sign though?
Someone would have to.
Because remember, we don't do the electronic stuff
Right.
anymore.
MAC says they will cover stuff like that, so let me talk to them first and see if I can get coverage for Wednesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Thanks, Judge.
Thanks, Jim. When do you come back?
Next week, Monday. And he's
Getting out on that day?
he's gonna get out the day.
Are we ready for a search? Sorry.
Oh, yes. Good morning, Ms. Jones.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm a little nervous.
Hi.
I don't know.
Need to be nervous. Look, you know, Josh is asking me to give you a PR bond, but I want to give you a PR bond, but I don't want to put you out on the street. You have a place to go to.
Yes, sir.
Where?
Springs, Texas. Springs, Texas,
She gave me an address, Judge, in Spring, Texas.
with my boyfriend. With my boyfriend.
Sure.
Yes, sir. I got the number. You want the number too?
He's been reaching out to me, so that.
Oh, you have to?
Right,
No,
right,
no,
yes,
no,
sir.
no, great. As long as I know that you have a place to go to, I'm okay.
And I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And I was checking myself into a rehab when I got out.
That's the only other thing I want you to do, stay clean and sober. Because I don't want to lose contact with you, because I'm going to tell you, I will give you a PR bond one time.
Yes, sir.
Fail us, I'm not going to give you another one. I want to trust you. I want to know that you're not going to be a danger to society, to the public. As long as you can do that, we're fine. Josh is going to give you his cell phone so you can always get a hold of him if there's ever a problem. If Josh tells me he can't get a hold of you, I'm going to take the PR bond away, no more. Or if you pick up a new case.
I'm done. I'm done with the cases. I'm done coming to jail. I'm done.
What's the drug of choice?
PCP, crack cocaine. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're not getting any younger.
I'm 38.
38. At some point, all this is going to go haywire if you continue with the PCP. Don't. All right. Okay, so we needed to sign conditions, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. The ag assault that you just had dismissed, was it the same complaining witness as this one?
Totally separate.
Okay, good. No contact with that complaining witness. All right, Ms. Jones, best of luck. Go get in a rehab.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You ready?
Okay.
Are
Yes,
you,
Judge.
you solo?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Whenever-
Great state of Texas.
Right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Order in the court, they're gonna be going on the record.
Guys, we're going on the record. If you need to talk, go outside. Can I have the cost number again?
Sure, it is 253-4377.
Don't want to wait for a DVD?
So DVD had to run to ERD and he,
Not a problem.
I'll let the state of Texas speak for themselves, but I believe they've coordinated
Ramona, ready?
the state. of Texas.
All right, so we're on the record in cause number 253-4377. Also 2505-146. And today's date is 10/21/24, October 21, 2024. It's approximately 11:50 in the morning. Guys, I'd like you to announce yourselves for purposes of the record, please.
Michael Haddad for the state.
Anna Edie on behalf of Mr. Wiggins.
Okay, we were here late last week, and the reason that we were here was we had a prosecutor here for worked with the Domestic Violence Division approach me with Miss Edie and tell us that Mr. Wiggins has been making threatening phone calls from the jail to the complaining witness in this case. Not only was he making threatening phone calls, but he was also using two other SPIN numbers from other inmates to also try to make phone calls to the complaining witness, and make threatening statements saying that, number one, he was going to do harm to her, that he was going to not follow bond conditions. And what I found was that not only is he a threat to society while he's out in society, because what we had in April of this year, he picks up an assault of a family member. A couple months down the road, he picks up 4 counts of aggravated assault and 5 counts of aggravated assault, 2 VPOs because he's allegedly shooting a gun in a car where there are at least 3 complaining witnesses. So I'd revoked the bond, I set it high, and it came to our attention that he's continuing while in custody still to be a threat to public safety. So what I did was, over objection from defense, I restricted his phone call. I basically took away his phone privileges in the jail. And the way that we did that was through AgSeg, administrative segregation, where he is now housed in a separate part of the jail that does not allow any access to phones. Did I miss anything?
That's a good summary of what happened.
Still has nothing to add.
So we're here today because counsel for the defense has issues with the order that I did. I'll let you.
Okay, and before we get started, I just want to say that the Harris County Public Defender's Office represents Mr. Wiggins on his felonies. The designated representative, Christina Wong, is out of the office. And I've been unable to coordinate with the Public Defender's Office to get someone here. But they do have an interest in this. I would imagine that they're in alignment with my position. I can't speak for them, but the ongoing constitutional violation I thought was serious enough to approach without them.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Wiggins is not allowed to use any phones at all, which means he cannot call me or his felony attorney. The court had suggested that if he needed to get in touch with us, he could write a letter, put it in the mail, and then we could contact him. My issue with that is that all outgoing mail from the jail is open and read, including legal mail. That's also going to add to a delay. So if Mr. Wiggins needs to speak with one of us urgently, we're going to have to wait for the jail to process it, put the letter back in the envelope, and then wait for the Postal Service to deliver it. So by that time, the problem could be worse. It could be overcome by events. I'm just the time delay on that. The other concern, and I'm going to show this picture to Mr. Hadid. When I went to visit Mr. Wiggins at the jail, because he's in administrative separation, this is the attorney room that we needed to use. And there's big red signs that says those phone calls are recorded. So I'm asking the court to allow Mr. Wiggins to contact his felony attorney and myself. And if we go visit the jail, that we do it in a way that those phone calls are not recorded.
I have absolutely no problem with you being able to go visit him in jail.
Okay.
And I would hope that they would allow you to have access to him as they would in any other instance when a person has the ability to go talk to an inmate. I have serious reservations about giving him access to phone privileges, though, as far as being able to call someone, because I don't know the protocol and I don't know if they have enough manpower to be able to sit there and actually look at who he's dialing. He's a threat to public safety, and he's a continued threat while in the jail. Not only is he's also using other inmates to be able to facilitate criminality. I mean, this is really the least restrictive means that we have to be able to protect the public. I don't know how else to go about it, because I certainly want you to be able to speak with him. And what we could theoretically do is have him come and put him on the docket every 3 days so that you can have continuing access to Mr. Wiggins. I'm happy to do that.
Well, the problem is that the holdover, there's no privacy. There's other attorneys.
We can wait until you guys are the last ones here, where you have the entire holdover to yourself. That's always a manner as well. We can put him in a separate room by himself there. But you know, like I said, we can always wait till you guys are the last ones here, so you have complete and utter privacy and no one else there to influence him, or no one to hear what the conversations happen. But how can I, you want phone privileges, or what do you want?
I want him to be able to, I mean, I understand the seriousness of the allegation. I understand, you know, that the court's concern, but my concern and my duty is to ensure that Mr. Wiggins has his 6 minutes to counsel, and that his felony attorney and I can both provide effective assistance.
And I want that to happen. I don't want to restrict any kind of access. All I want is him not to be able to use the phone to call out to the general public. I don't know how that can happen if I give him just privileges to call you. because the danger to be able to misuse that is just too great, and it's not so. Did you go see him?
I did, and
What happened?
so when I realized they were gonna put us in that attorney room, they told me that that's the room we had to use. And I was unable to effectively communicate with Mr. Wiggins because those phones were not working. Now that's a completely separate issue. But I reached out to.
Even if those phones had been working,
Well,
they were recording?
They were recorded, and I don't know if the court is aware of how the phone system works at the jail, but normally you go into a private attorney room.
And you have the phones, you pick it up, and there's the big plexiglass, and yes, those aren't recorded.
No, those are not.
Right.
But the room we had to use because he's in the administrative separation, which is the only way the jail can ensure he doesn't use the phone. It's a private room, but when you pick up the phone, it has a keypad for Mr. Wiggins to put in his SPIN and PIN number to record that call. And like I said, you can see the huge signs that say,
Right.
you know.
So do you want to bring him here every couple days so we can have just continuing meetings and we wait till the last people are out and you can have contact with him?
Well,
I don't know how else to do it at the jail.
I don't either, but I have concerns about, the cost involved of transporting him every 3 days.
You can't, what? Don't even worry about it. Who
Okay.
cares?
I don't think that's sufficient to, for his felony attorney and I to provide effective assistance of counsel.
Judge, the way the motion is written, the state is unopposed, but we understand your concern about how the jail, with their internal procedure and where he's housed, is going to actually enforce that to where when he's on the phone, he's only calling and speaking to his attorney. So we're unopposed to the motion with the way it's written, but we also will refer to you and understand it.
I don't know how to do that, Anna.
Is there a way that, and I don't know the jail policies and procedures, but he could stay in the administrative separation, but the jail only allows him to call certain numbers?
No, that's what I'm saying. The risk of him trying to misuse that is just too high. And I mean, that would require the jailer to sit there and look at the actual number he's dialing, making sure that it's the right number. How are they going to know that?
Can I ask you, what was the policy for mail, for letters? Did you say he could send out letters?
Well,
okay.
I mean, he can send letters to the lawyer, but he's not supposed to.
But those letters are read.
Well, I know you said you're concerned about that. I know for a fact that they're not. They're only read in certain circumstances where they feel. I don't want to discuss Harris County jail policies on the record without someone here to testify to that. But I will say that I have personal knowledge that not all mail is open and read. There's very certain circumstances in which it's opened and read.
I don't
for the general
know.
public.
I don't know how to do I don't know how to work it. Do you have any? I don't feel comfortable giving him access to a phone to dial out. That's for sure. He's proven that he's just too big of a danger to be able to give him access to a phone.
And if I could, Judge, I just want to point out that, not minimizing the allegations of the threats that were made from the jail, but he was not trying to coordinate with someone on the outside. I don't think there's been any allegations that he was trying to coordinate somebody to affect harm. He was just reaching out to the complaining witness.
He's not supposed to.
I understand he's not supposed to have any contact.
He's not supposed to. He's using other people's spins, continuing to make threats, and then blatantly saying that the bond conditions I'm not going to follow the bond conditions. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get me a damn good lawyer, and the bond conditions are going to go, where.
Well, and I would also point out that if he's in jail, he's not on bond.
He's still instilling fear
I
into a complaining witness that he shot at.
I understand. Just my concern is Mr. Wiggins and his ability.
Why don't we bring him here every other day? And I'm happy to do that as well. That way we have him wait till the end and you can meet with him. I'm not giving him access to a phone. Not with, I mean, it's been 2 days, 3 days,
Okay,
you know? I want to give you as much access as I possibly can over there, over here, however, but I'm not giving him access to a phone. It's inviting danger. And you know, and if someone else says that I'm wrong, hey, but he's not always a danger when he's out, but he's a danger when he's in.
understood, Judge.
Perhaps now we'll get his attention.
Okay, can I enter the photo that I took as an exhibit?
Yes, absolutely.
And do I need to lay the foundation or
Um,
I'm not sure how it works in this setting?
I guess Ramona, you want me to have her file it and then we'll make it part of your record, I guess?
Judge, just let her offer it like she normally would, and I'll get it from her as soon as this is over.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to tender into evidence a picture of the jail showing that the jail phone calls are recorded. I'm offering it to opposing or to the state.
Any objections?
The state's unopposed.
It'll be entered as defense
Exhibit
exhibit
one.
1 as for purposes of the record. I have not read your motion. Let me just see real quick what it says. So the motion is defendant's motion to allow confidential and telephone communication with his lawyers. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, it pains me to do it, Anna. It really does.
No, we just.
I can't. I'm happy to deny. I don't know how else to micromanage to make sure that he's not using a phone in a malicious way. I don't know if the jail has the manpower to sit there and look at what the actual phone number that he's supposed to dial, watch him sit there and do it every single time.
Well, they have the manpower to monitor his calls, which is how.
The problem is that there's no phones there. That's why we have him there. So they'd have to take him to another place, sit there, and then they're gonna watch him the whole time.
I would have objections to that because.
And then if they go out of the room, he hangs up the phone, boom, dials another number real quick. You know, it's just too much.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Understood, Judge. May I be excused? Okay, thank you.
Off the record.
Anna,
Yes, ma'am.
can you come see me?
Yes. Can I talk to Judge about set another case for trial and then I'll come back?
Oh, sure, that's fine.
Kemp. She's on today's docket.
Did you not get any good offers?
Well, they have not changed their offer. They haven't spoken with the complaining witness, and my client steadfastly maintains her innocence. And
I mean, if you, sure, what are they offering you now?
let me confirm. Sorry, this has been my focus since Friday. Is this on Kim? Yes.
She wants to set it.
It's a time served offer.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you want. Happy to do, for sure.
So Anna, it's December 3rd or December 10th.
Can I do December 10th? I have several other cases set on the 3rd that.
Anything you need. Hey, you've been doing great. I'm gonna take you off. The testing, as much as you've been doing, you're doing great. I'm proud of you. Great job. just beware, they could call you at any time, but I'm taking you off all the, what you've been doing. You've been doing great. You're happy, you're coming here, you're negative, no more. Just be careful because you can still get called, but I'm taking off the Monday, Thursday, okay? Good job, man. Well, let me get your reset. Hold on. We'll get you a normal reset, okay? 30 days.